Hello everyone, this is the Mental Health for Life channel. When we use the term calm person, we often think of someone who is cool, composed and confident like a hero. However, did you know that there are people suffering from alexithymia or absence of emotion? Even when they're having a hard time, they cannot put into words what is going on in their minds. Inability to consciously acknowledge unpleasant emotions makes them more likely to manifest as pain or other physical symptoms. In 1972, Dr. Sifnios conducted a study of people who, despite experiencing significant stress, did not manifest psychological symptoms but rather exhibited physical symptoms such as gastrointestinal disorders and asthma. He found a common personality trait among them, alexithymia. People with this trait have difficulty expressing in words what they are going through, and stress tends to manifest itself as physical symptoms. Stress is initially recognized as the movement of emotions such as joy, anger, sadness, and pleasure in the so-called interbrain. This information is then transmitted to the upper and lower brain regions. It is conveyed to the lower part of the brain through the autonomic nervous system, resulting in the movement of internal organs such as the heart and lungs. When transmitted to the upper part of the brain, it is analyzed in the frontal lobe, where it is understood in words what this joy, anger, sadness, or pleasure is about. In alexithymia, the information about stress-induced emotions is not properly transmitted to the frontal lobe, and thus is not converted into words. Although alexithymia may manifest as a temporary symptom, it is generally considered to be an innate personality trait, and many people find it difficult to live with. Some people may not even be aware of it, since it occurs internally within one's mind. In this article, we will introduce 5 characteristics of alexithymia. 1. Difficulty expressing one's feelings in words. For example, even when watching a comedy show with family and everyone is laughing, individuals with alexithymia may not be able to laugh, but it doesn't mean they find it boring. Even when they know that there is bullying at school, they continue attending without complaining or taking a break. Of course, it's tough for them. They can resemble prisoners of war who become expressionless and are taken away without resistance. Even though the word alexithymia suggests that they are unemotional, they do not lose their feelings. They can still experience them. However, the inability to express them in words leads to a lack of self-awareness. They may not recognize what they're feeling, even if they experience prolonged discomfort. Eventually, these pent-up emotions can explode, leading to emotional outbursts. This is why alexithymia is often associated with poor mental health. 2. Inability to express feelings to others. Due to the inability to express the emotions happening within themselves in words, individuals with alexithymia struggle to communicate their feelings to others. They may feel misunderstood because they are unable to express gratitude or joy to others, or suffer because of inability to express their discomfort or pain. This may result in interpersonal issues. As children, such individuals are always smiling and rarely cry, so their parents think these children are easy to raise. However, in fact, they are unable to communicate their feelings to their parents due to alexithymia. 3. Being prone to experiencing physical symptoms. When we are faced with distressing situations, unpleasant emotions are distributed within the mind and body. When they are processed in the mind, they can be articulated in words, while their impact on the autonomic nervous system manifests as physical symptoms. Expressing stress in words can help relieve it. In alexithymia, however, the inability to express emotions verbally results in them manifesting solely as physical symptoms through the autonomic nervous system. This is how so-called psychosomatic symptoms manifest, encompassing fatigue, headaches, back pain, gastrointestinal problems, asthma, numbness, dizziness, and other. If one has a physical ailment and no abnormalities are found after a hospital examination, alexithymia is often involved. 4. Escaping or closing off to cope with hardships. When faced with internal conflicts that cannot be consciously recognized and expressed in words, individuals find themselves unable to reflect on their inner thoughts or consider solutions. When this happens, they are left with no choice but to either avoid the distressing situation or shut down emotionally. At the same time, their physical well-being is affected, leading to using physical discomfort as an excuse to evade responsibility. When children experience unpleasant situations at school, they may develop headaches or stomach aches that prevent them from attending. This is because the child's mind and brain are not fully developed, so they cannot process the emotional pain, and only the child's body reacts. If this pattern continues into adulthood, it may be considered alexithymia. For example, some people experience illness because of stress and are unable to go to work. When a concerned colleague contacts them, they say, "I'll be there tomorrow," but end up being absent the next day as well. This is because they do not understand their own internal state, and certainly not because they are weak-minded and running away from the situation. 5. Alexithymia can be seen in autism spectrum disorder, or ASD, attachment disorders, and complex PTSD. Autism spectrum disorder, or ASD, is a condition characterized by difficulties in understanding other people's emotions, as well as a diminished ability to objectively perceive one's own emotions. As a result, symptoms of alexithymia are very common in ASD. They can also be seen in attachment disorders, complex PTSD, and schizophrenia. These are some of the characteristics of alexithymia. Although the symptoms may be temporary, there is no definitive cure because it generally tends to be an innate personality tendency. It is wise to learn to live harmoniously with this aspect of your personality. First and foremost, let's become aware of the body's SOS signals when we're pushing ourselves too hard. Headaches, back pain, gastrointestinal problems, asthma, fatigue, and other physical abnormalities are signs that your mind and heart are screaming. When that happens, it is important to acknowledge this by saying, "Here comes my usual companion," and take the time to rest. To prevent physical discomfort, it is important to pay attention to your overall well-being and avoid overloading your schedule. Also, since your body tends to be tense, massages that help relax the entire body can be beneficial. Relaxing the body can also help heal the mind. There are many people with alexithymia who are active in the workplace, where they are required to remain calm. They can focus on their work without being upset by sudden events. Thus, it may be helpful to perceive this trait as a positive characteristic of being calm. This was the Mental Health for Life channel. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel.